Okay, so I fucked up my recording for like the 70th time and wasn't recording any of my microphone stuff, so that's fun. My pre episode monologue was kind of just about how it's been like 2 or 3 weeks since the last two episodes were recorded, so it's been a while since I've been able to sit with the ending. I'm still very unhappy and disappointed by it. Granted, I think I mentioned that I don't know all the details of it. I know what's been popularized. I've spent a long enough time that I've kind of accepted it, even if it's disappointing. So hopefully I won't be as frustrated about all this and can just enjoy this for what it is, like I used to. So yeah, that's kind of all that. This is still such an odd tone for this opening. This would have fit the Paranormal Liberation War more. So far, this season has been a lot less tense than that arc was. Yeah, those guys did nothing this entire fight. This wasn't even a fight. It was Dabi monologuing until Shoto did something. That was the fight.
Poor Shoto. You've done so much for us.
Who the fuck are you?
Stood your ground against Blue Flame. You're a true hero.
Keep pushing
Who the fuck was that?
You did a great job, young Todoroki.
Why do I feel like something's off?
Acid shot, losers!
I feel like Mina's control over acid goes underappreciated. That was an offhand comment, but I'm pretty sure at some point I made my kind of monologue about why Lemillion bothered me so much. Mainly how he's introduced, because he's introduced as, like, he works so hard for this type of thing. And he did work hard, but they made it sound like he worked unnaturally hard or abnormally hard or harder than other people. But that comment I just made about Mina made me realize she probably would have had to have worked harder. That level of control of her acid, like with Lemillion, for the most part, he can see when he's doing something properly. With Mina, like, to my knowledge at least, she doesn't have like a mental, like, acid level. She has to measure it by instinct. And she's able to melt off specific parts of enemy gear and cover her allies in a version that's fluid enough but not acidic at all. Like, she has a lot of control over that, and it goes completely unappreciated. Yeah, the way they introduced Lemillion was really fucking dumb.
Damn, this was a surprise attack! So why were they here? Waiting for us!
The heroes predicted that we'd move to get him back while they were otherwise detained.
We're just playing on different levels.
He's been impressive since day one.
And you've done nothing. I like Ojiro on a conceptual level, but he just doesn't do anything. Okay, so it's a side character episode. That's why it's just called Extras. Got it. Hey, Spinner finally got his sword back. Wait, what the fuck? Spinner looked giant.
No, impossible.
What the fuck?
Must be.
Was he no mood?
I'll be perfectly fine without one.
Yeah.
That walking inferno has everything. A reason to live, a purpose,
Ironic.
power.
You think we're too stupid to see through you? Charge into that hospital and rescue Kurogiri. This is how we change society. Fight for your sake and for Shigaraki's. We'll destroy.
There's a lot of moving pieces, so I wouldn't be surprised if Hirokoshi lost track. But All For One went to meet with Aoyama because Aoyama was going to bring Deku out. I'm pretty sure, I think All For One summoned the Vanguard. I think it was after Aoyama turned, but before the heroes came. So they wouldn't have known the heroes were occupied, which means it doesn't make sense for them to go after Gigantomachia because they wouldn't know that the heroes were occupied. And I would have to assume the same thing is going on here with Kurogiri, because they wouldn't bring these people to Kurogiri. So how did they know to attack these places, and why didn't All For One just bring them with him? They made it a whole point of him not knowing. Okay. I wouldn't think he was a bomb. But it's all for one. You never know. It might have been a failsafe he wanted implemented in case he fought Endeavor.
Endeavor. What is this odd expression on your face? Tenderness?
You know, a criticism I had with the Shibuya incident that was largely because of watching the Paranormal Liberation War? The idea that things were happening in sequence, as opposed to all happening at once. Shoto and Dabi were fighting for a while, and everyone was teleported at pretty much the same time. All for One and Endeavor have no injuries so far. They have just been flying here for like 10 minutes. Okay.
That's two sons whose lives have been ruined by your poor parenting. You chose to make them suffer. So, what's your excuse this time?
He ruined
How will you
all of
attempt
his
to
children's
justify your
lives.
mistakes?
And he
Let me
knows
guess,
it.
You were looking out for the greater good?
He's trying to provoke him.
This isn't even good
This is
taunting.
why
Endeavor
you're
knows
ruined.
this.
He was also hooked up to a machine during the Tartarus jailbreak.
Which means he must be well aware that his weak spot could be his undoing.
Does anyone know what the laws are with, that's what it's called, Jesus. The death penalty in Japan? Because obviously the laws of different countries can vary pretty significantly in the standards and all that, but I get the feeling that no judge or jury on the planet would say that All for One didn't deserve to die. Who would defend him? Legitimately. Aside from anyone he bought out or threatened, who would support him or say that he doesn't deserve to die? And with how easy it would be to kill him, given the fact that he needs a giant machine to support his life, like, I get the whole heroes don't kill thing, and I mean, clearly in some scenarios they're willing to push the boundaries a little bit. If All Might killed All for One in that fight, I don't think anyone would have minded. Even All Might wouldn't have minded, because he already thought he did it. But when it comes to a law, that's an entirely different matter, because I guess, like, death row takes, like, a long time to go through because of the fact that you could get a bad verdict and kill an innocent man, so they delay it as long as they can, but I don't know exactly how you would defend All for One in any context. It's like I mentioned with Moonfish back in the Tartarus escape. He was on death row. They specifically said he was on death row during his introduction. But after being recaptured after attacking people again, he either isn't put on death row again, or he is on death row, but for some reason they just keep waiting still. Even though, like, there's no denying it at that point. And if Moonfish is able to get on death row, how the fuck did All for One not get shot straight to the front of that line?
You made your tortured masterpiece mop up your shameful mistakes. Why aren't you elated?
Shut your mouth!
Don't fall for it! Remember how he provoked All Might and Kamino?
Tomura Shigaraki,
What does he
my
gain
apprentice,
from
is
them
Nana
being
Shimura's
provoked?
grandson.
Like,
Well,
especially with
well,
Endeavor, I feel like
that's
he would get hotter
Where is your smile
when he's
now?
angry.
The son you thought dead has been returned to you through my work and foresight. You should be thanking me.
I'm understanding why people are bothered by how much All for One plans. Like, at this point, I'm half expecting Hawks' backstory to somehow have All for One involved. And the weird thing to me is that the doctor who told Deku that he was quirkless was the guy working with All for One. And to my knowledge, they don't go anywhere with that. Like, what? How is that what you push to the side and instead you shove him into every other villain's backstory? Like is he involved with fucking Toga? Or Spinner? At this point, I feel like I should assume he was.
Keep your cool!
No, don't keep cool.
I will kill you!
Oopsie daisy.
Endeavor!
Yeah, okay. I kind of failed to see how that was an opening when everything else he was doing wasn't an opening. Like, I get the theme, don't give in to rage or you'll get sloppy and whatever, but rage is also a really powerful tool if you want to be as strong as possible. So, when you're literally on fire, and you're engulfing the area around you on fire, and you're getting angry, I feel like it makes sense that being angry would increase the heat of the fire and the range of the fire, not provide your enemy with openings. That doesn't make sense. Who is that? Oh! Huh. Was not expecting that team up.
And if I may ask a favor, please keep your rear end still. It's flustering me.
You idiot! I mean, Tsukuyomi! And that girl from Class A?
I can't hope to match Endeavor's power, but I can still help you.
Well,
We're a good team.
You say you can't match Endeavor in power, but if this fight goes on long enough, I'm just saying, I feel like Dark Shadow at max power could solo All For One. Like, is that just me that thinks that? There are some extremely powerful quirks in this show that are incredibly underutilized.
Please lend me your aid again.
Happily.
Who all is here anyway? Because I guess they said they wanted to keep All For One from stealing quirks, but I feel like there was some range support they could have used. And like clearly they brought other villains and other heroes here, so I mean, what's to say All For One doesn't have like an instant teleportation quirk now? You could just nothing personal kid this and take a quirk from anyone, but whatever. Let's just fucking finish the episode. I'm pausing way too much.
I'm wasting my time swatting at flies.
All For One and Shigaraki are just turning into Mahito in terms of their powers. Oh, is that just a cannon from his... Oh, I thought that was someone else's quirk stepping in. Jesus.
Little
Oh,
bird.
God.
Right now, you're not number 2.
Okay.
And these extras are delusional supporting characters. Never meant to stand beside those who can pose an actual threat.
You ever watched SAO?
Did you really believe you were something special?
Oh, God! Does that grow back? Fuck. For those who aren't aware, my SAO comment is in reference to Season 4, Episode 14, and that's all I'll say. It's one of the show's best episodes. And with All For One of all people saying that kind of stuff, I kind of have to assume they might be doing something kind of similar. Though hopefully not too similar. Alright. That was, I thought they'd, like, get hit, but then come back with something. I didn't expect her to lose one of her headphone jacks. Like, I would assume those don't grow back.
But this is real life.
What the hell is that quirk?
You thought you could
God,
test the
that
demon
just
lord?
seems brutal. Oh! We're already getting the new opening? I know the season's only 21 episodes, but this is really fast. More stain. Oh, I much prefer this one. That might be my favorite My Hero opening. I'll need to listen to it a few more times, but I really like that one.
Talk all you want about strength and fear. Tell us we're
That's a lot of pain tolerance to just monologue after that. Did he just feel fear from that?
Ragnarok! Well, it turns out those ensigns.
Don't monologue. Oh God, Hux.
Good grief.
Of course.
Your persistence has left you warped. Like
Oh,
a twisted
shit.
approximation of a so-called hero.
Yeah, I recognize. Oh my God! Oh my God! How fucking strong are those things?
So keep cursing the weakness inside of you. It's the only thing that's kept you alive this long. You must burn hot enough to keep it at bay.
I don't know if this is the healthy thing to do, but seems like a badass thing to do, so it might be needed. God! Yeah. Doesn't need flesh for it.
Wounded heroes really are the most frightening animals.
Pretty sure he said the same for All Might in their final
Who's
fight.
the slow one now?
They said he doesn't have regeneration.
Look at you keeping a cool head.
No, my rage is all-consuming! All for one.
He's just controlling that rage properly now.
Retreat! Why? Now's our chance to overwhelm him!
Yeah, run.
But his quirk is within my reach.
Oh, just burn his hand off.
Those damned hands. They'll forge the future. One that belongs to a new generation.
He's not gonna kamikaze, is he?
That's why I'll continue to pay my penance. To ensure their prospects.
Continue to. So he doesn't plan on dying.
Then keep looking at Tuya! Stop it!
All for One is legit scared. That's really satisfying. I don't think we've ever seen All for One scared at any point in the entire story.
You've given me the opportunity to try something new.
What?
And villains are also at their most frightening when they're wounded.
Rewinding his body into peak condition. Oh my god! That's what he's doing, isn't it? I still think this is really stupid.
Extinction and destruction cannot be avoided. Ever-growing disparity has resulted in widespread misunderstanding. Misunderstanding leads to fear and rejection. Such is the broken world we currently inhabit.
Why?
Take control of it. Everyone on Earth will be exploited equally. Don't you
Why
think that
have
gives
these
us one
themes
step
been
closer
thrown
to
away?
peace?
Okay.
Heavy mobile unit. That ought to shut you up.
Interesting. What's it firing?
Body. But it's because of me that he ended up losing his power.
It's a lot of buildup for Bakugo right now.
I've seen people take big steps towards progress in a better world. It may take some time, but there are those trying to push us forward, changing things for the better.
Why were these themes abandoned?
Nutsack faces lackey!
Great explosion, murder god. Dynamite.
They should have chosen a more serious name. I wish they had just gone with Dynamite for his name.
Yes, this is a coffin, and we'll all be joining Shigaraki in his journey to the underworld.
What the heck? You're filming a documentary? That's not gonna help us beat him.
Fucking business force.
You can't be serious.
There's a reason war footage gets preserved, right? Do you know what business students do?
That's actually
Our
fair.
job is to promote the heroes. Basically, we're the bridges between heroes and society.
Your narration wasn't
Learned a
doing
lot
it
in our
you
3
any
years
help
at
though.
UA. How we won this terrible war.
Then why are you saying you're gonna be buried in a grave with Shigaraki?
Stay strong. Do not close your eyes.
He didn't just break the entire thing, right? So, with Aizawa and Monoma, does Aizawa still have his quirk? I don't really know how you can weaken the ability to cancel something. Like, you can't cancel a power less. It's an on or off kind of deal. So, is it like when he only has one eye, is the power like just stuttering instead? Because if that were the case, then yeah, Monoma would need to keep his eyes open the entire time. But if he can hold it at all, then, I mean, they could blink and they could announce they're blinking and then blink and then that kind of thing. It's like the things from Doctor Who or whatever that move when you're not looking at them, or any concept like that. But they never really elaborated on what's going on with Aizawa. So is Kaminari going to get to do anything in the war, or is this his duty for the whole time? I feel like he's got to get to do something, right?
He knows what he's doing.
Okay, it looked like he blew up the entire
Concentrate
thing.
your explosion and annoying.
Fuck. Fuck!
So fragile. What will power that's comparable to All Might's do to your bodies?
It's still dumb. Part of me would have preferred him just having his quirks to this. This is really stupid in my opinion. I think this is the whole Shigaraki evolution thing. I think is one of the genuinely dumbest plot points I think I've seen in an anime. And that, I feel like that's a lot. It makes no sense. And it's literally just there to keep him as a major threat when there's this level of power going against him. I like Monoma getting to do something, but I kind of hope something happens to him, or when Deku arrives, they have to take this outside of this, just so that Shigaraki can actually use the quirks instead. Because him having all for one's quirks, I didn't like very much either. And him having a supercharged decay quirk, I wasn't a huge fan of either. But I prefer either of those to this. This is really stupid. It makes zero fucking sense.
You're the person who's closest to Izuku Midoriya. That's perfect. And one for all.
First time he's shown up in a while. We didn't get any answers for what happened with All For One. Fuck. I feel like it has to be him rewinding into peak physical condition. Because he doesn't want his current body, obviously. And he was regrowing body parts. And it showed Eri the bullet. So, like, I feel like that has to be it. We gonna get anything more with Lemillion? Oh shit! They just showed Hagakure. Okay. I shouldn't be getting upset at an ending theme, but showing Hagakure's full design is really dumb, because we haven't seen it clearly. Our best look at it, she was still half translucent and it was just her face. I've literally been trying to avoid fan art of her for the longest fucking time because of the fact that I figured at some point we'd get a full reveal of her in like an outfit that was made the same way Lemillion's was made. But they just show her off in an ending, I guess. I'm pretty sure they didn't even show her hair color properly in the reveal. Like, she was still very translucent in that whole sequence. So just showing her off in an ending is really dumb. Granted, they showed her off in the opening, before that scene even happened. That pisses me off so much. I have this weird thing with a lot of different things, whether it's character designs, fight scenes, storylines, music. I don't like to consume any media regarding something until I've become familiar with it in the media that it was originally created in. So like Curtain Call. You don't watch a bunch of My Hero stuff and not get recommended My Hero videos on YouTube. So I've obviously seen that the song was called Curtain Call, but I never watched it because I hadn't watched the opening yet. That's the case for a lot of things, including like fan art and other art of character designs. It's really hard to avoid seeing art of a specific character when it's often done in a group with other characters. And for them to just show her off like that after I spent so long trying to avoid looking at her is really frustrating. I get that that's a very niche thing to be upset about, but it really bothers me.